Come to your mat to a comfortable seated position, the top of your mat. Maybe cross legs. If you need to sit on a block or a pillow, I invite you to do so. But just come to the seated posture and close your eyes. You can place your hands on the tops of your knees. Palms up or down, it doesn't matter. Whatever you desire. And just for this first few rounds of breath here, just begin to connect with your breath. Taking a deep inhale here through your nose. And exhale, open mouth through your mouth. Exhale it out. One more inhale through your nose. And open mouth, sigh, let it out. And then if you like, you can seal your lips and begin to breathe in and out through the nose. Or if you want to continue breathing out through the mouth, that's fine. But just begin to settle into the space. Setting aside your day. Setting aside your to-do list. Not focused on what you're going to have for dinner or tonight or breakfast in the morning. But just focusing on your breath. And allowing all of your inhales to flow through your nose. And letting the exhales meet every inhale. Keeping the eyes closed. While we are seated here in this posture, set your intention for your class today. Your intention can be just simply to focus on the breath. It can be to focus on your body and observe. So take that intention, and on our next inhale together, let's seal the intention together with a breath. So inhale deeply here and exhale it out. Keeping your eyes closed and your gaze soft and staying in the seated position. Notice whether you are leaning forward or if you're leaning backwards. And then maybe take some small adjustments, bringing the head above the heart and the heart above the pelvis. And once you're there, we'll begin to make small circles with our nose as if we are drawing on a whiteboard in front of us using our nose as a marker. So small circles, I'd say about the size of a saucer. Just taking the nose and making circles with your nose. moving slowly. And staying with your breath as you make these circles, very small circles. One more circle in this direction. And then reverse it, making small circles in the opposite direction. Very small circles. Very small circles. And then coming into stillness here. Keeping the head above the heart. Imagine that there is a pencil between your shoulder blades. And draw your shoulders back and down. And squeeze that pencil between your shoulder blades. Holding that pencil between your shoulder blades, begin to make larger circles with your nose, maybe the size of a dinner plate. Slowly rotating, drawing with the nose. One direction. Holding the pencil between the shoulder blades. Now come to center and reverse it, keeping the pencil between the shoulder blades. Larger circles in the opposite direction. Hold on to that pencil. Don't let it slip. Stay with the breath. And then come to center. You can allow your eyes to take on light, just blinking the eyes open here. Keep the pencil between the shoulder blades and bring your palms to touch at heart center. And bring the backs of your thumbs between your third eye center or between the brow, holding the pencil there. And gently, ever so gently, tilt the head back so that the forehead is up directly facing the ceiling, just the forehead. Breathe here, holding the pencil. If you like, you can take the palms of the hands and place them behind the head here, keeping the pencil between the blades. Keeping the forehead tilted toward the ceiling. One more inhale here. Exhale it out. Deepest inhale ever. And exhale it out and bring the forehead back, facing straight ahead. You can remove the hands from behind the head. And maybe just sit here for just a moment. Are you maybe sitting up just a little taller? Maybe sitting on just a little prouder? So remember that feeling of the pencil between the shoulder blades throughout your class tonight as you move through the different postures, and I'll try to remind you at certain points. But the work that we just did was great neck stretches and releases. If you found yourself looking at your phone or staring at a screen, hunched over, that's something you can do at your desk if you're working from home. So our next posture, still staying in a seated position, reaching the arms up and over, taking a long inhale here. And then placing the right hand on the earth, bending into the right elbow as you lean over to the right side, bending into that right elbow, taking a nice side body stretch on the left, keeping the hips glued to the earth. Gently tilt the head to look up toward the ceiling, ever so gently. Deep breath in here. And exhale it out. One more inhale here. Exhale. Next inhale, reaches both arms back up to the ceiling. Exhale, reach your left arm back to the earth. Bend into the left elbow as you tilt over to the left side. Gaze is straight ahead. If you like, you can just gently tilt the head up toward the ceiling. Staying with the breath. Pressing through that right hip. Take an inhale here. Exhale, let it out. One more breath in. Exhale it all out. And inhale as you come all the way back up through center, both arms reaching tall. Take an inhale here and just a tiny little back bend. As you exhale, come back to center and swing your body over to the right side in a twist, twisting at the base of the spine from the belly button. Gaze is to the back of your mat. Just a simple twist here. Gaze gently over the right shoulder. Take an inhale, lengthening here. Exhale, twisting just a little deeper. Next inhale, both arms reach back up, come through center. And exhale, simple twist to the left. Left arm reaches behind. Gaze is over the left shoulder, twisting from the base of the spine. Take an inhale to lengthen through the torso. Exhale, twist just a little bit deeper. One more inhale here. Exhale it out. And an inhale takes both arms back up. Coming to center. Breathe in deep. And exhale, take a forward fold here. Bring your forearms to the mat. Chin to your chest. Take an inhale. And exhale it out. Inhale, press yourself back up. Seated, swinging your legs around, coming to a quadruped tabletop position, wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. We'll go through a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhaling as you lift your tailbone and your gaze up toward the ceiling. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, chin to chest, arching through the back, pressing the mat away. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale one more time to cow. Exhale to cat. Come back to a neutral flat back. Tuck your toes under. Inhale as you lift your hips toward the ceiling, coming into a downward facing dog. Keeping a slight bend in both knees. Heels do not have to touch the mat, but press through the index finger and the thumb. Both of your hands, fingertips are spread wide apart. And let your head hang heavy like a bowling ball and begin to walk your dog here, bending through one knee and then the other. Shifting the hips from side to side. Staying with the breath. Moving with the breath. Then come to stillness here, in downward facing dog. And take your right foot and place it on the outside of the right pinky. And maybe walk your left leg back long. Lower your left knee to the mat. Untuck your left toes. So the top of the left foot is on the mat. Right pinky on the inside of the right foot. So you're in a lizard pose. You can either stay here on tall arms. And if you're on tall arms, remember that feeling of the pencil between the shoulder blades. Come back to that feeling. And if you're walking your arms down onto your forearms or onto blocks, you place your forearms on blocks or directly onto the mat. But stay with the feeling, the pencil between the shoulder blades, and let your pelvis hang heavy. Take a deep inhale here. And exhale it out. Another breath in. Exhale it out. Stay for one more inhale here. And exhale it out. And inhale as you either remove your blocks, placing them to the side, and coming back to tall arms. Tucking the left toes under, lifting the left knee, and stepping back into downward facing dog. Once you get here, walk your dog, right knee, left knee bends. Head is heavy, hips sway side to side. Staying with your breath. And then coming into stillness. Ready to move into lizard on the left side. Taking the left foot on the outside of the left pinky. Maybe walking that right leg back long, lowering the right knee to the mat, untuck the right toes, holding your pencil, breathing in deep here, and exhale maybe as you lower down to blocks or onto your mat. Or maybe just stay on tall arms. But allow your pelvis again to hang heavy here. And stay with your breath. Nice, soft, smooth inhales. And soft exhales. Deep inhale. Exhale. Stay for one more inhale here. And exhale it all out. On your next inhale, slide your blocks to the side. Come back to tall arms. Tucking your back toes under, lift the back knee, step the left foot back to meet the right in downward facing dog. Stay here for just a moment for one round of breath. Deep inhale here. Exhale it out. Take another inhale. And bring your knees to the mat, coming back into a quadruped position. Knees as wide as the mat. Big toes touching and press back into a child's pose. Arms reaching long ahead of you. Bring your forehead to the mat. And then just take a moment in this child's pose to reconnect with your breath. Reconnect with this space. Letting the breath be smooth and long. Breathing in deep and emptying the lungs complete. Another inhale here. Exhale it out. Stay for one more breath in. And exhale it out. Your next inhale, press yourself up to a kneeling position. Tops of the feet on the mat. I'll turn sideways just in case you can't see. The tops of the feet on the mat, just like we would if we were doing our ankle stretch, and this is pretty much an ankle stretch. And sit back on your heels. And remember the pencil between the shoulder blades. Clasp your arms, your hands behind you with the pencil between the shoulder blades. And maybe you have your dominant hand on top in the back. Take a deep inhale here and exhale it out. Take another inhale. Exhale it out. One more inhale here. And let it all out. Unclasp your hands. This time, come up onto your toes as if we were going into our toe stand, placing all of the toes on the mat. But before we go into toe stand, I want you to lift your knees off of the mat. Bring your fingertips to the mat. Lift your knees up. Lift your heels up as high as you can, as if you were wearing a very, very, very high pair of high heel shoes. Lift them up as high as you can. Lift your knees as high as you can. And then walk your hands, staying on your fingertips, forward about a foot, maybe about a foot and a half away from your feet. And then lower your chin to your chest and press your knees up as high as you can. Lift the heels as high as you can. Breathe in deep. Exhale it out. Take another breath in here, lifting the heels as high as you can, knees as high as you can. And exhale it out. One last inhale here. See if you can go just a little bit higher. And exhale, lower just your knees to the mat. And now we'll go into our toe stand. So sitting back on top of the heels, making sure all of the toes stayed flat on the mat, sitting back on the heels. Now, take your non-dominant hand this time and place it on top, clasping the hands behind you, grabbing onto your pencil. Non-dominant hand is on top. And hold here for just a moment, maybe 4 rounds of breath this time in our toe stand. Noticing any place in your body where you're holding on to tension and sending your breath there. Unclenching your jaws. Unclenching your teeth. Letting your tongue be heavy in your mouth. Maybe giving yourself a smile. Take another inhale here. And exhale, coming out of toe stand. Swinging the feet, the legs around. Coming into a butterfly posture. And hanging out here, giving yourself a foot massage. And just taking a moment here as you massage your feet. Really get into that massage. And take a moment to thank your feet for all that they do. All the places that they've taken you. Just think. There's so many things you couldn't have done, places you couldn't have seen without your feet, right? So it's just one of the small things to be grateful for in life. So continue to give yourself that massage in this butterfly pose. And then when you're ready, just bring the soles of the feet together. Making sure that you're on your sitting bones or on the ground here, removing the fleshy parts from beneath you. Inhale as you reach your arms up and overhead. We'll be Going into a forward fold here. Exhale, fold forward. Bend into the elbows here. Forearms can rest on the mat. Or if you like, you can take your 2 peace fingers and grab your 2 big toes and draw yourself in closer, bending into the elbows. And hang out here for just a few rounds of breath. Breathe in deep. Exhale it out. Another inhale here. Breathe out. Our next inhale, walk yourself back up from your forward fold. We'll come into a cow face pose. In cow face pose, take your right leg and bend into your right knee. And your right knee is facing the front of your mat. So it's pointing toward the front of your mat. Then take your left leg, bend at the knee, and place your left knee on top of your right knee. So you're stacking your knees, almost like handlebars. So you're going to kind of hold on to your ankles as if they're like handlebars on a bike. Now, it's okay if your knees don't stack exactly on top of each other. Unless this is a posture that you do regularly, I wouldn't expect it to, or maybe you can. Mine do not stack directly on top of each other, but I do try and work my left hip to the mat. So gluing my hips to the mat and feeling that deep stretch in my hips. The left side now, if you've got the left knee on top. So in this posture, this cow face pose, we're going to do another twist. So the simple twist that we did at the beginning of class, you can do that twist, or if you like, you can do a prayer twist here. So inhale as you reach your arms up and over, and exhale as you twist toward the left side of your mat. If you would like to do prayer twist, bend into your right elbow and bring your palms to touch. The left elbow is pointing toward the ceiling. The right elbow is outside of the left thigh. Take a breath in here. Exhale. Take another inhale and lengthen. And exhale, twisting at the low spine or the belly button. Take one more inhale here. And exhale it out, coming out of your twist, coming back to center. We'll take cow pose, cow face pose, switching our legs around. So if your left leg was on top this time, the left leg will be on the bottom, left knee pointing toward the front of your mat. Take the right leg, cross it over, stacking the knees, holding on to the ankles like handlebars once again, making sure that both hips are on the mat. Inhale as you reach your arms up. And exhale, twisting at the belly button, twisting from the belly button. Over to the right side. Gaze can be over the right shoulder. If you took prayer twist on the opposite side, feel free to bend into the left elbow, bringing the palms to touch. Taking prayer twist on the right side. Breathing in deep. Exhale it out. One more breath in here. Going a little deeper in the twist. Final inhale Exhale, twisting the belly button just a little bit more. Take an inhale. And exhale, coming out of the twist, coming back towards center. We'll come onto our belly next. So flipping our legs to the side, reaching our legs behind us, coming onto our bellies. Setting up for a few back bends here. So on your belly, prepare to come into a low cobra. Once again, squeezing that pencil between the shoulder blades, drawing the elbows together. Inhaling as you lift your chin, your chest off the mat. Zipping the legs together behind you. Zipping the feet together, staying with your breath. Gaze is just beyond the front of your mat. Stay for another inhale. Holding the pencil. Exhale it out. One more breath in here. And exhale. Lower your left cheek to the mat. Let your arms lay long behind you, palms facing up, heels fall out to the side. Take a moment to just simply breathe. Feeling yourself melt into your mat. Deep inhale. Let it out. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Now bring your palms back underneath your shoulders, resting the hands underneath your shoulders. We'll come into another baby cobra. Zipping your legs back together. Inhale, holding the pencil between your shoulder blades. Squeezing the elbows toward each other. Breathe. Breath in. Breathe out. One more inhale here. Exhale, lower down, chin to mat. Reaching your arms behind you this time, palms facing down, keeping the feet and legs zipped together. Lotus pose is next. So reaching the elbows back, arms back, clasping the hands behind you, holding onto that pencil, and inhaling, lifting the chest off of the mat. If it's available to you and you want to lift your legs, feel free to do so. Staying with your breath, squeezing the pencil, clasping the hands. One last inhale. And exhale, lower down, right cheek on the mat, heels out to the side, flipping the palms. Take a moment of rest here. Staying with your breath. Stay with the breath. Spatula pose is next. So reach your right arm long out to the side like half of a T. So it's straight out to the side. Bend into your left leg. Take an inhale here. Bend into your left hand, your elbow, placing the left hand underneath the left shoulder. Exhale it out. Take another inhale and exhale as you press yourself over to the right side of your mat. That right arm is reaching long behind you. The left knee points straight up toward the ceiling. The right ear is on the mat or on a block like a pillow. Always use a block like a pillow. And keeping either the left arm bent, or you can take the left arm, reach it up to the ceiling, and place the back of the left hand behind your low back, coming into a low bind. Opening up through your pectoral muscles, so your pecs. The chest opening stretch here. So you're opening your chest. Breathe in deep. Exhale it out. Stay for another inhale here. And exhale it out. Next inhale, take yourself back through center. This time bending into the right elbow, reaching the left arm long to your side, straight out to your side, bending into the right leg. Take an inhale here and exhale as you press yourself over onto your left side of the mat. So you're opening up through the chest. You can reach that right arm up toward the ceiling. Place the back of the right hand at your lower back, coming into a low bind here. You feel a shoulder stretch on the left side, opening up across the chest. Breathe in deep. Exhale it out. Another breath in here. Empty your lungs completely. Take another long sip of air in. And exhale yourself back to center. Pressing yourself back to child's pose. This time in child's pose, your knees are together, like a rabbit pose. So knees are together and your arms reach long behind you. Palms face up and your forehead is on the mat. Now turn to the side, just so you can see. And instead of holding on to your pencil now, it's okay to just let those shoulders just drape forward. Chin to your chest here, forehead on the mat. Take a deep inhale here. And exhale it out. Another breath in. And breathe out. Let it all out. From this rabbit pose, come back up to tabletop position. So knees back under hips, wrists underneath your shoulders. Press the shins into the mat and press through the left hand, pressing the left hand through the mat, into the mat. Inhale as you reach your right arm up and open up. Opening up the chest one more time. Exhale, thread that right arm underneath the left armpit, bringing the right ear to the mat. Pressing the hips back toward the top of the heels. Staying with your breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take another inhale here. And exhale it out. Next inhale, reach that right arm back up. Open up through the chest one more time. And exhale, plant the right hand to the mat. Inhale, reach your left arm up, reaching up, opening up through the chest. Exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left armpit, bending into the right elbow and bringing the left ear to the mat. Pressing the hips back toward the back of the mat. Breathe. Exhale. Breath in. Let it out. One more inhale here. And exhale it out. Next inhale. Left arm reaches back up. Open up through the chest one more time. Exhale, plant the left hand back onto the mat. Swinging your legs around. Bending into both knees. And coming onto our backs as you roll down one vertebrae at a time. Lowering onto your back. And setting up for reclined pigeon pose. So with both soles of the feet on the mat, cross your right foot over your left, the top of your left thigh, creating a figure 4 with your legs. Take an inhale as you reach between the space between your right leg and grab onto the back of your thigh on your left thigh or the front of your left shin. Flexing into both feet as you draw your left knee towards your chest. Pressing the hips away, keeping the hips flat on the mat. Drawing the shoulders back and down, holding onto your pencil. Take a deep inhale here. And exhale it out. Another breath in. And exhale as you lower your left sole back to the mat, uncrossing your right leg, placing the sole of your right foot on the mat, crossing the left over the right, coming into figure 4, reclined pigeon, the opposite side, flexing into both feet as you reach through on an inhale, grabbing either behind the right thigh or the front of the right shin. Drawing the right knee towards your chest. Staying with your breath. Pressing the hips away. Keeping the hips moving toward the mat. Take another breath in here. And exhale as you lower the right sole back to the mat. Now placing both feet on the mat, reaching your fingertips toward the backs of your heels, coming into bridge, setting up for bridge pose. Fingertips toward the heels. Again, clasping your pencil as you draw the shoulder blades together underneath, maybe lifting the chest proudly, clasping the hands as you lift tailbone up, pressing into the heels, pressing into the shoulders, keeping the chin perpendicular to the mat, protecting your neck, gaze is straight up toward the ceiling. Breathe in deep. Hold here and exhale it out. Take another inhale here, pressing the heels into the mat. And exhale, removing the arms from underneath, coming all the way down, pressing the back onto the mat. Setting up for a supine twist here. Arms reach straight out to the side like a capital T. You can take your right leg and cross it over your left, or simply keep both soles flat on the mat. Bumping the hips over just about an inch to the right side of your mat. You've crossed your right over left. Lower the knees, both knees down toward the left side of your mat. Gaze can stay up toward the ceiling or toward your right hand. And it's okay if your right shoulder raises up just a bit off the mat. Take an inhale here. And exhale it out. Next inhale, draw your knees back through center. Uncross your legs if you cross them. Crossing left over right this time, or just keeping the knees bent. Bumping the hips about an inch to the left side as you lower your knees toward the right side of your mat. Again, it's okay if left shoulder raises up just a bit. Gaze is toward the ceiling or toward your opposite hand. And stay with your breath. Take one more inhale here. Exhale it out. Inhale as you bring your knees back through center. Happy baby is next. Bending into both knees, reaching through either the insides of the legs or the outside, or just maybe even grabbing the ankles. It's okay if you don't want to reach and grab your feet. You can just simply grab the ankles, drawing the knees into the armpits. You can roll side to side here and give yourself just a gentle spine massage. And then come into stillness. And when you are ready, in your own time, make your way into Shavasana, our final posture of our practice tonight, with legs reaching long on the mat, taking up as much space as you need. Arms at your side, maybe lifting the chest ever so slightly. Taking that pencil one last time. And close your eyes. Letting your breath be normal here, just a natural flow of the breath. Taking this time on your mat. Moment of pause. Without moving your physical body, keeping your eyes closed and your gaze soft, return back to the space and take small movements in small places. Wiggle your fingertips, wiggle your toes. Begin to roll out your ankles and your wrists. And reaching your arms long overhead, away from your feet, fingertips away from the toes, the long stretch here. Deep inhale, breathe in deep, and exhale, let it out. Bend into your right leg and then your left leg. And using your right elbow as a pillow, roll over to your right side. Keeping eyes closed, gaze soft. Just take a moment to thank yourself for coming to your mat tonight, giving yourself permission to be still, giving yourself permission to focus on your body, focus on your mind. Press yourself up to a seated position at the top of your mat, keeping eyes closed, gaze soft, cross legs, bring your palms to touch at your heart center. Thank you for allowing me to guide you in your practice this evening. As we bow our heads together, namaste. Thank you, everyone.